Your dog looked at someone and you just knew. You couldn't explain it. You smiled, said hi, acted normal, but your dog wasn't buying it. Growl, body low, eyes locked, and you thought, what does he know that I don't? Turns out, science has an answer, and it's not what most people expect. Your dog isn't reading souls. He's doing something far more impressive, and understanding it will completely change how you see the animal sleeping next to you right now. There's a study published in the journal Neuroscience and Biobehavioral Reviews that stuck with researchers for a long time. Not because of the results, but because of how clean the dogs were about it. Here's what happened. A dog watched its owner struggle to open a tightly sealed container. 3 strangers were nearby. One helped, one did nothing. One refused on purpose, looking directly at the owner while doing it. Afterward, all 3 offered the dog a treat. The dog happily took it from the one who helped. Most accepted from the passive one, but from the person who refused to help their owner, the dog turned away. Every time, no training, no command, just a dog watching, deciding and choosing. I don't trust you. And here's what that actually means. The dog wasn't protecting himself. He was protecting the relationship. He watched someone disrespect the person he loves most and responded to it. That's not simple instinct. That's loyalty, expressed through social awareness. That's what 15,000 years of living inside human families does to an animal. A second study, this one out of Japan, pushed the question even further. A person pointed dogs toward a container with a treat inside. First round, correct. Dogs found it. Second round, the same person pointed to an empty container on purpose. The dogs were disappointed. And more importantly, they remembered. When that same person pointed to the right container on the third round, many dogs simply didn't follow. They had already updated their file on that person. Unreliable. Not to be trusted. What's happening in both of these studies isn't magic. Researchers call it social evaluation. The ability to watch how others treat the people in your group and adjust trust accordingly. Dogs have been doing this alongside humans for tens of thousands of years. They didn't just evolve to read people in general. They evolved to read you. Specifically, your face, your rhythm, the way your breathing shifts when something feels off, the way your body changes before your mind has even caught up. Your dog has been studying you every single day since the moment you brought him home. A dog's nose contains roughly 300 million olfactory receptors. Humans have about 6 million. When you feel uneasy around someone, when cortisol rises, when your heart rate changes, when tension settles into your shoulders, your dog smells all of it. The chemistry of your discomfort is as clear to him as a flashing alarm. So when your dog growls at someone you outwardly welcomed, there's a good chance he caught something you were already sending out. Your body said one thing, your smile said another. He went with your body. This is what psychologists call co-regulation, except here it runs in both directions. We know dogs calm us. The research on that is solid. Their presence lowers cortisol, slows the heart, steadies the nervous system. But the other direction is just as real. Your dog is constantly tracking your emotional state. Not because he was trained to, but because you are his whole world. Your safety is his primary concern. When your energy shifts, he shifts. When you tense up around someone, that tension registers in him like a warning signal. He doesn't need to understand why you feel that way. He just knows you do. And that's enough for him to act. You ignored it once. Most of us have. We override the signal because we don't have a rational explanation. We smile and say he's being weird. And sometimes he is. Dogs aren't infallible. Someone who carries general anxiety, not dangerous, just nervous, can absolutely trigger a dog's alert. The chemistry of fear and the chemistry of threat are similar enough to confuse even a highly sensitive nose. A dog barking at someone is not a verdict. It's one signal among many. But the pattern is hard to dismiss. Person after person describing a dog who reacted badly to someone and finding out later exactly why it made sense. The partner who became controlling, the contractor who was stealing, the friend who eventually caused real harm. The dog had no explanation to offer. He just knew something was off. And he chose his person over politeness every single time. What were those dogs detecting? Probably a combination of things. Stress chemistry in the air, micro-expressions too fast for the human eye to consciously register, and most powerfully, the owner's own unspoken signals. The almost invisible hesitation, the breath that changes, the thing you feel in your gut before you find the words for it. Your dog found it first, and then there's memory, which is where this becomes something else entirely. A dog's olfactory memory is extraordinary. Research shows that an owner's scent activates the reward centers of a dog's brain, the same areas associated with pleasure, safety, and deep familiarity. People describe dogs recognizing them after 5, 10, even 15 years apart. Not by face, by smell, by the emotional imprint carried in that scent. One person described coming home late at night to his mother's house. His old dog was asleep on the couch, hadn't heard the door. He walked close and gently waved his hand near her face, letting his scent drift toward her. Her nose began moving before her eyes opened, and before she could even lift her head, she was already crying with joy. She was 16 years old, nearly deaf, nearly blind. But she knew him instantly. She always knew him. He held her as she died a few months later. He was her last smell. That's not a sentiment. That's neuroscience. That's what attachment looks like when it lives in the body, in scent and memory, and a nervous system built entirely around the people it loves. You are not dramatic for feeling this bond. You are not too attached. What you have with your dog is a genuine attachment relationship, with the same neurochemical signatures, the same co-regulation, the same deep sense of safety that comes from being known completely by another living being. Your dog doesn't evaluate you. He doesn't compare you to anyone. He just pays attention more fully and more honestly than almost anything else in your life. And maybe that's the real reason we trust them so much. Not because they can detect a bad person, but because they remind us that we already could, if we learn to listen to ourselves the way they listen to us. Your dog isn't detecting evil. He's detecting misalignment, and every single time, he chooses you. If this made you think of your dog, share it with someone who would understand. They'll know exactly who to send it to.